So these are photographs from the IR scan, and I don't know if it's evident, but down at the bottom here is a radiator, and then above it is a air conditioning unit. And as you can see, the sides of the air conditioning is really slow, really cold, it's dark. And then here you can see the air is coming through the air conditioning unit, and it's causing discomfort. It doesn't so much impact your utility bills so much as it impacts the comfort of the people in the building, and then they tend to, of course, have the radiators up higher, so then your utility bills do get impacted. Next image. This is an outlet. Actually, this was in the apartment, and the outlet is leaking, and this is pretty typical of an outlet that doesn't have a cover plate, or where the cover plate is not sealed properly. You can get insulating pads to put behind the cover plate to seal this and stop it from leaking. This is a crack, and I want to say that it's in the apartment room, but I might be incorrect. But it's a crack that's pretty evident, and it's where a interior wall meets an exterior wall, and you can see that it's cold and it's leaking air into that room. This is the room. It's kind of a storage room. It's on the second floor, on the opposite side of the office, and it's where the plaster has fallen off the ceiling, and it accesses the attic, and as you can see, it's leaking. This is the corner of a window, and this part here, this is the window, and this is the trim around the window, and it's creating a draft, and as you can see, it's very cold. This is the refrigerator. This top part is the freezer. This is the refrigerator, and this is the gap in between the freezer and the refrigerator door, and the gasket is leaking. And as you can see, it's just pouring cold air into the room. So the refrigerator is costing money to cool the room, and meanwhile you've got radiators in the room, and you're trying to heat the room at the same time. It's not very efficient. This refrigerator is probably costing you on the order of about $40 a month. This is the attic hatch, and with the fan going, it's leaking air into the room, but when the fan is off, hot air rises and it leaks out of this hatch into the attic space. This is a look at the insulation from the floor. So I'm pointing the infrared up at the ceiling, and that blotchiness is showing how ineffective the insulation is. This is one of the bigger rooms in the upstairs meeting room. As you can see, the glass is cold, but also under the window is leaking, and the sides of the window. This can easily be repaired using spring bronze. And this is the vent above the boiler, and as you can see, it's just uncontrolled ventilation, and with the fan running, air is being pulled in through that vent, but normally what's happening is actually the heat is leaving that room, going out of the vent outside. The boiler does in fact need ventilation, but what you want there is controlled ventilation, not uncontrolled ventilation. This is a graph of your gas bills, and I've distributed the bill over the month, and what I've done is I've taken months where there's no heating, created an average of them, rounded it up, it came to 27 therms per month, and I attributed that over the whole year to the gas that's not involved in heating the building. So that's mainly the hot water heater. And I will say for a building this size and for the use that it's being put to, 27 therms a month is high. And to me that indicates that either there's something going on with the hot water heater, it might be that it's full of sediment, or it's set too high, or it could be that the the gas meter itself is malfunctioning. Usually one hot water heater takes between 8 and 14 therms a month, and there doesn't seem to be anything else in the building that's consuming gas that that the other 13 therms could be attributed to. So that's something to look at. Okay, so the next thing is the therms for heating. So the heating only in therms is 5,206 therms over the year. So the cost of that is $7,809 over the whole year. The estimated area being heated is 5,000 square foot, and that's according to my measurements. And so that equates to $1.56 per square foot. That's very high. The national average for this type of building is between 20 to 30 cents per square foot. So as you can see, there's a lot of room for improvement. What I'm really pointing at here, the improvements that I think should be done, is number one, you need programmable thermostats, and I understand you've already started installing those. They make a big difference. Number two, you need more insulation. The building is inadequately insulated, and that will make a huge difference both in the performance of the equipment that you have, people's comfort, and on the utility bills. Number three, you need to seal the buildings. Right now, you are heating and cooling about 31 volumes per day of air. What you need to be heating and cooling for good ventilation is 7 volumes. So you're doing an extra 24 volumes per day. And then the last thing in terms of the heating and cooling is, I can't remember, I'm blanking out, I'm very sorry.